we can't do as a society, but I think the taxpayers could probably expect more from their government. So why should the government promote journals that are advertisements for industry? You know, if we have a PubMed that says advertisement on the top of the journal masthead, if they're not following the law and revealing their funding sources, I think that's wrong for the taxpayer to do that. I have a friend at NIH who's brilliant. His research has been cited here already, I'm sure. He's focused on developing patents because he can get a cut of the patents. I think that's unethical for a government scientist to get money from his patents. I also have been through many trainings as a government employee, ethics trainings every year on this or that. Why not have an ethics training that includes this kind of discussion to all the young, bright, and bushy-tailed doctors that come to NIH so they can hear an alternative to what they're faced up to? I started out at NIH and wanted to do nutrition research, and they explained, no, we don't do research in nutrition here, Dr. M. Howe. We're about drug development. And so I did nutrition research on the side of my desk, despite what my bosses wanted me to do. And the doctors, there are many, many good and dedicated physicians and scientists at the NIH and FDA. If they're really good, they get let go. If they're not so good, then they stay. But if they were given encouragement to be independent, to ask questions, to question authority, I think that we'd get a better result for our taxpayer dollars. And there's also something called a False Claims Act. It seems like that's one powerful tool that anybody in the government could use to really make a lot of this industry corruption go away. Do you have any thoughts about that? Thank you.
I wanted to address the patent incentivization and what you're referring to. And correct me if the number has changed, but if you have a patent issued or you have a portfolio patent issued, then royalties and the revenue stream that the federal agency gets from that, like the National Institutes of Health, then as an inventor you can get a portion of those particular proceeds up into it's $150,000 a year. Okay, when per. And so if I had one licensing agreement, I did patent research while I was at a Department of Energy laboratory, and at that point in time, it was still $150,000. I would more than double my income by doing that.
I agree completely that we need to reform medical education, not just workshop. We can't workshop this. I think Secretary Kennedy made an announcement that the medical schools need to start teaching nutrition. Right on point. Now, generalize that. If every physician that treated an infection that traveled from the nose to the back of the skull into the brain saw what happened with saline douche with iodine, they would never, ever scarify that person's tissue again and do surgery. They wouldn't have to. Where's the money from that? Where's the money from using iodine? Last time I saw that happen to a person, it's my stepson, the doctor said, well, where did you get iodine? That was the answer. And he said, drugstore. And then he said, well, I'm sure it was the antibiotics. You see, they don't want to know. So where's the accreditation? Let's look at accreditation processes. Let's review them nationally. Let's see if we can incentivize accreditation bodies in ways that pharmaceutical companies have been incentivizing them for years, and say, we want high quality integrative medicine to be this national standard, the norm, and let's do rotations. Let's find the 10,000 independent doctors that are out there doing things like povidone iodine and others, like Dr. David Brownstein, and offer rotations. Go do a rotation there or do a residency and bring that know-how home to your practice or to your hospital.